presentation. At 8 minutes, I'm going to show you the yellow card. At 9 minutes, I'm going to show you the red card, so we have 30 seconds to end.
So, Max is our president since July 2017. He was our VP Education last year. He loves animals. He always record our speeches to help us improve for the next speech. For me, it helps me a lot. And he takes care of his dad to be more independent, who has Parkinson's disease. So please now welcome Max Dupont, a moment in India, Max Dupont.
The year is 1893. We find ourselves in South Africa. The sun is fading away into the sky. There is a train. A locomotive is pulling a carriage with coal right behind it. And right behind that you have first class, second class, and third class. We find ourselves in a first-class carriage. Beautiful, smooth, deep brown leather seats on either side. And right on top, ornate Persian mini rugs sits on top. Elegant green velvet curtains onto the sides. And you can see the sun fading out the window. A young tanned man sits in a tux with beautiful black lapel. Marcella white shirts with little triangles and a black tie made out of silk dotted with white dots. Into his vest, he sits with his beautiful hair gallantly. And he reads smugly. And he sees the porter and he asks him, "Do you believe in hell?" The porter does not respond. "Neither do I, but this Christian man believes in hell."
Oh my God.
The porter, agitated, says, "How did you get a ticket?" And he shows him the ticket, and then instantly the conductor comes in with another passenger who was agitated because he had seen this man in the first class. And he says, "What are you doing in this car?" "I have a first class ticket, sir." He asked him, "How did you get this ticket?" "I sent for it through the post because I didn't have time. I am an attorney." The white passenger behind the conductor, in complete disbelief, says, "There are no colored attorneys in South Africa." And he looks for his business card. He says, "Wait one moment." Takes it out and he says, "Look here, see, I am Mohammed K. Gandhi. I am an attorney at law. I am en route to Pretoria to deliver a case for an Indian trading firm." The white passenger once again says, "There are no colored attorneys in South Africa." "Sir, I have been called to the bar in London. I have been enrolled in Chancery. Thus, I am an attorney. And clearly, according to you, I have colored skin. So clearly, there is at least one colored attorney in South Africa." The conductor does not seem impressed. look, just go to third class. Just get out of here. Just go to third class.
I have only traveled in first class all of my life. I'm not going to go to third class.
Conductor, again, seems like, hey, this is a very whimsy situation, but we gotta get you out of here. If you don't get out of here, we're gonna have to throw you out.
So they grabbed him. No, no, what are you doing? What are you doing?
They threw Gandhi out at the next station. Gandhi stood there. It was the first time he had actually felt an injustice for himself. He was from the merchant caste. Business. His family was business. He went to school in London. So it was the very first time he had actually gone through an injustice. And this moment, ironically, did not happen in India. It happened in South Africa in 1893. But this very moment is what empowered him with this injustice, that something was wrong, that he was judged for his color of his skin. And so he decided to do something about it. He spoke to his client, who was very rich. And his client said, yes, you should travel third class. I'm Indian. I might be rich, but you got to travel third class. He didn't accept this. And then from that point on, he worked in South Africa to help change the laws. And then he would gradually go into India and help create the Indian independence in 1948. And I chose this moment because it seems there are many moments in Gandhi's story that you can choose. You can choose the Salt March, you can choose the actual independence when he fasted, so that he could keep the peace between the Hindus and the Muslims, or stop the violence on the English. But this very moment, it seemed like nothing. But we all have these little moments that can spark us an injustice. The question is are we going to devote our lives, our very lives, to do the right thing? That's up to you. And I chose this moment because it also shows how Gandhi had the good life. And I am someone who doesn't necessarily remember that. He had a good life. He lived a good life, and because he went through one injustice, it changed everything. On that note, I bid you farewell.
Thank you.